for you guys expecting a replay, we'll jump into it really quickly. Index Assault update's coming on Monday, so if you're having problems, send in the following in a support ticket. And Double Agent is going to be updated on Friday. The reason is Google's now passing link juice through 301 redirects. And how did we fix that? We added in a 302 smart redirector and refactored the Double Agent algorithm itself. The iframe source attribute now points to back to the root domain, so yourdomain.com, with an encrypted query variable called a bash code. There's a new function hooked into the WP head action to identify that query variable and decrypt it decrypt it back to your target URL. And once that target URL is identified and validated, that page is 302 redirected to the target URL without ever leaving your website, domain.com. So what that new algorithm looks like, or the changes in the algorithm looks like, I should say, for those of you watching this on replay, is we go from the classic model that we were using before of domain.com through to a bit.ly link, and we replace that with domain.com down to domain.com with a bash code, which then gets redirected through a 302 redirect into your bit.ly link. And the reason we did that is because bit.ly is now doing 301 redirects instead of 302 redirects. And link juice passes through 301 redirects now. So that's the quick overview for anybody that just jumped in, or anybody who's watching the replay. And thank you again to those who pointed out that it wasn't recording. This will be a really, really fast replay for those that are jumping in late. Okay, so what happens if the DA directory page is deleted? Good question. All you're going to have to do is go to the add page. Let's see, bring this in over here. You'll just go to new page and name it directory. And you could, if you want, you could put up a short code. I think it's SEM directory, and that's it, and publish that page. But there's already a directory there, a directory page, so make sure that's the right short code. It's been a while since I've published 1 minute ago. Okay, it's going to be this one. Yep, SEM directory is the proper short code for that. And if you view the page, Double Agent's disabled by default. Oh, this one doesn't have Double Agent running, so obviously SEM directory doesn't work, the shortcode, but Index Assault is up and running, so you can see that it plays the video there. What else? We only have to do this if IA is not working for us right now. Correct. If Index Assault is working for you, no need to send in credentials. If Index Assault is not working for you, go ahead and send in the credentials. Let's see, Double Agent. What is the purpose of the directory? Purpose of the directory page is twofold. One, it provides a nice starting point for the crawlers when they hit your site to go out. It's a link map, essentially, a good interlinking profile, and it gives the crawlers something to crawl out to. The second reason we had to put it in there is the overlay is really, really smart. I was thinking for it. It took me about 2 weeks to figure out how I wanted the overlay to work with Double Agent. With the Renaserp model, I could go over this quickly if you guys are interested in. Let me bring back my trusty, crappy little paint here, and let's not save this. All right, yes, please go over it. All right, so you guys want to know what was going on before with the Renaserp and what got changed in Double Agent. Okay. Let's say this is your beautiful, beautiful website source here, right? You got your underlined and bolded. You got your HTML, right? And then you got your body. And then you got your, let's just say this is my awesome on-page SEO. Then we go out and we end the body, and we end the HTML, right? So this is just a really simple website, so to say. What's happening with the Renaserp is they go into the body, nix all of your awesome on-page SEO. They pretty much just take it right out of there. Let me change the color here to red, and the outline, the overlay to what's a good one? Yeah. All right. So they pretty much cross all that out and replace it with the iframe overlay. Go and change this back to black. iframe src equals target. So all of your awesome on-page SEO essentially gets replaced with an iframe, which on the surface, that's what Double Agent looks like it does. Double Agent doesn't do this though. This is very bad for SEO, because let's say your website gets indexed the first time by Google, right? And it sees all this awesome on-site SEO that you did, and then it comes back the next time, and all it sees is this target URL. Doesn't see any of that awesome on-page SEO. That raises a huge red flag, first off. Second of all, the reason your page ranked in the first place was your backlinking profile and your on-site SEO. All of that's gone. So now all it sees is an iframe, which Google counts as a link back. All it sees in your site is a giant link. That's literally all that's seen in your site. So Double Agent works a little bit differently. Instead of doing this whole, replace whatever's on the page, let's nix this out, because this is really, really bad. Really, really bad SEO practice to do this. This is not what Double Agent does. What Double Agent does is it takes your HTML, and let's make this canvas a little bit bigger too. Oh, don't want it in red. My bad, guys. What it does is it's going to take your HTML code for your website, and I wish I had copied all that before I had written it out. Sorry for making everything jump around and giving you guys vertigo, but this is what Double Agent does. We got our HTML start here. We got our body. And then we have our on-page SEO. Awesome. What we do now is we go into the footer and we put in a new element, a new Double Agent wrapper. So we'll call this just div ID equals 2x wrapper. It doesn't actually say this, but this is just for example right now. And then what we do is we put in the iframe for iframe code for overlay. And this is going to be now domain.com bash equals some encrypted string. And we'll close out this iframe. And we'll close out this div. What did we have up above this? 1 second, guys. Man, I kind of messed up there. Body and end body. And I deleted that HTML tag, but it doesn't really matter. We all know that this is HTML code here. So what's happening with Double Agent is, instead of replacing all of this awesome on-page SEO that you did before, right over here, what it does is it goes and it inserts the code on the page itself for the iframe. Now with the classic code, it didn't insert this bash code. What it did was it would go and it would just put in the target URL here, which hopefully was a bit.ly link. And then through some really cool CSS, what it would do is it would overlay the iframe full screen on this thing right here. It would overlay it on top of all your on-page SEO instead of the other method, which replaces it, which is really, really bad. And like I said, this was working great for a very, very, very long time, but unfortunately now Google is showing it as a unfortunately what's happening now is Google's seeing this source, and we knew that it was a link back, but if you put in a bit.ly link, it's a 301 redirect, and it's passing the link juice through. So that's the problem. And then there was a question, why do we need the directory page? This iframe right here is another resource that's being loaded. So you load up your standard website, and then you have to load up the target website. But what happens once the standard website's loaded and the target website hasn't loaded yet? You're left with a giant white frame. So I had to think of a way to switch out the unloaded iframe with the loaded site already, but not display to the users a blank white screen, because that's the last thing an end user wants to see, is something that takes, you know, a few seconds, or something that even takes 2 or 3 seconds to load. I mean, I know when you guys are on SEMeasy and it takes a few seconds to load a page, I start getting tickets that it's taking too long. That's not what you want on your client sites, especially when you're releasing these pages. So what you not what you want to do, but what I did was I put in another one of these iframes on the page that links back to your directory page. Once that iframe is completely loaded, it goes and it swaps the loader icon, the loader URL, not URL. It swaps that loader image with the spinning icon and the loading ... with the fully loaded, or at that point hopefully partially loaded page from the iframe. What this does is, instead of saying like, okay, after 3 seconds swap, that would be really easy to code. Just tell the system, okay, wait till the page is loaded, wait 3 seconds, then swap the page. The problem is, if you got people with really fast internet connections, they're not used to waiting 3 seconds for the page to swap, so that 3 seconds is way too long. If you, on the flip side of that, if you have somebody with a crap internet connection, 3 seconds isn't long enough for that page to load, so you're still displaying a white page. So I was thinking, how do we solve this issue? Well, let's load up another page at the same time as we're loading the iframe and see how long that page takes to load. If you have a fast internet connection, that page is going to load like that. If you have a really crappy internet connection, it's going to take a few seconds. And then once that page, that sort of directory page, is fully loaded, then we swap out the loader icon. So again, for somebody with a really fast internet connection, that directory page is going to load really quickly, and it's going to swap out the holding page for the target site really quickly. But if somebody has a really slow internet connection, the directory page is going to take a bit longer to display or fully load, and then once that time has elapsed and the page is fully loaded, it'll go and swap out the loading image with the target URL or the target iframe. Someone's asking, will the title and snippet stay the same or show a new site's iframe description after the new site is showing? Nope, it's going to stay the same. The title that's displayed in the browser, as well as the URL that's displayed in the browser, will be the same as your directory site, not the targeted money site. All right, let's see. What else have we got in here? Double agent. Are you able to overlay a website and deactivate the page for rent? Absolutely. You could jump into it. I'm trying to think of where I have it set up for you guys. Might need to go through the process of reactivating that whole account, which I really don't want to do right now on the recorded webinar. But essentially, actually, you know what I could do? That was dumb. I could do this for you guys. We could go, because you guys should learn where all this documentation is anyway. If we go over to Learn, SEMlive Archive, nope, Library, Plugin Documentation. All right, in here we got a video as well as documentation for the SEM plugin, for Double Agent, and for Index Assault. So let's just jump over to the Double Agent documentation really quickly. So what the question was asked was, can we have a site for displaying something back here, displaying a target site, without having somebody have rented the page and disable the page for rent? What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to jump into that specific page that you want, scroll down here till we get to it, and click the advanced options. Andy, did you not? I could have swore Andrew did it on here, but he might not have put it in here, and if not, that is completely our fault. Yeah, it doesn't look like he updated the on-page options in the documentation here, but I know for a fact that it's in the video itself. Don't really want to go through the entire video looking for it, but we could try to find that page. And YouTube obviously doesn't want to load with all this stuff going on. That's the SEM plugin. Here's the Double Agent video. And this is a long video, guys. It's like 15 minutes. Come on, Andy. Maybe he... Oh, no, it's got to be in here. Okay, so let me change this over to HD, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so if you go to the edit post for that specific post, you'll see down here a Double Agent meta box. and you're going to want to click the checkbox to enable double agent. And you could not worry about the pricing options because those are going to be set for you. I'm not set for you, but you're not leasing the page, so you don't need to worry about it. You're going to want to click the Show Advanced Options button over here. And there, he clicked it. And then you're going to want to go down to not enable temporary 2x, but you're going to want to go down to the Enable Manual Override section here. You click that, put in an override URL, and it'll do, the double agent algorithm will perform exactly as you want it or exactly as you expect it. When you load up this page, it's not going to show the for lease box, but it will show in the in the overlay whatever you put in this override URL. And note, always remember to include http:// or https://. Sorry I couldn't jump into a working example of it, but I'm glad I could find it in the video really quickly, and I'll make sure that documentation gets updated because it was supposed to be in there, but it's not in there. Alrighty, so that answers pretty much most of the questions that I've gotten so far. Let me scroll through the log here and see if there's any more. How do we give credentials for double agent? Or not for double agent, my bad, for index assault. Just submit a support ticket and make sure that Ben's been keeping a spreadsheet for me with all the documentation I need to make sure I could get into everybody's servers and check them out. And the reason I'm asking for all this, guys, is because I can't replicate the issue on my servers. I don't know if they're just too powerful, or I need to get a shared account or something. But I can't make the issue happen on my box, so I need to work on your guys' box to figure it all out. What's the code for the directory page? It's capital SEM. Actually, I'll write it down here, and then lowercase directory. But everybody should have this on their screen now. That is the code, and I could copy that and respond directory with brackets. Yes, correct, with brackets. And that's brackets are just standardized shortcode syntax for WordPress. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? If not, we could shut down this webinar here. Be a fast one today. I know I got a lot of code to do. Is there a SERP Shaker discount? I do not know. I could ask Donald. Just not sure. General questions, yeah. Feel free to ask general questions. If it's something that I think Andy should be answering, I'll just be honest with you and say Andy should be answering that question. Let's see. Are you doing video schema, and how do you do it? Index Assault takes care of video schema for you if you have a video on the page. If not, or if you if you use Index Assault to put the videos on the page, there's the option in the back end to enable or disable video schema. I should be able to show you that real quickly. I think because it's still authenticated. Yeah, Index Assault is still running. I can see the video popping up, so I could just show you really quickly. Let's see, Index Assault. We head over to the D-Day tab, and you could turn on or off video schema. If it says video schema on in the background screen, then video schema is automatically being put on the pages for you. Alright, let's see what else is there. What VPS specs do you recommend, or what type of VPS service do you recommend? I can't recommend Limestone Networks enough. They are by far my favorite hosting provider to date. Their service is freaking excellent. If you get any piece of dedicated hardware from them, they actually send you the serial numbers and the MAC codes and IDs and all that, and it's really cool because it's the first host I've ever used that actually gave me the information, gave me the actual hard statistics and serial numbers for the hardware, I should say, that I was renting from them. Everywhere else, I just don't trust that they're giving me what they were giving me, or what I was paying for. Let's see. Are all these instructions included in the plugin install file? Yep. Everything for Index Assault I know is included. Is it included in the README install file? No, not itself, but if you go to SEMeasy.com, let's see, I should have it as one of my frequented, I do have it as one of my frequented, it's the most frequented one, duh. You go to SEMeasy.com, go down to Learn, Library, Plugin Documentation, and all the READMEs are right there, as well as the video for each of them. Let's see, I asked this in the forum, but I will try here too. I'm on page 1 for my test, use SERP Shaker and Index Assault. Now I want to expand my test, so I have several questions. 1, how can I add a video with a thumbnail that makes the page 1 listing stand out even more? Sorry to be the honest SEOer here, but everyone who told you that, putting videos on your pages is the way to rank, well, that's old news. It doesn't really work anymore. It's been, I'd estimate about 97% of SERPs have removed the video-rich snippet preview. Authorship has been 100% removed at this point in time, and videos, they're on the downswing. Don't focus on them. Focus on schema. Second, Shaker. The test was only a fraction of city, states, towns, and zips. When I add more city, town, zips, do I add a SERP Shaker page or simply increase my shortcode list? I would imagine that you have to add more SERP Shaker pages, and just increasing your shortcode list isn't going to automatically generate those pages, because that's not how SERP Shaker works. But I did not code SERP Shaker, and I don't offer official support for SERP Shaker, nor does Andrew. It's not our product. We'll do everything we can to help you, but it's not our project. 3, IA, Index Assault. When all cities, counties, zips are added, do I run IA for the whole site again, or run IA for these newly added pages only? You can't, as of right now, there's no option to append to the site, pre-existing sitemap. It only replaces it. You can, I recommend running Index Assault again, but if the crawlers have already hit your site, sending it out to be pinged is not really going to do anything for you. It's sort of like I don't know the best way to explain it, but it's not SEMeasy. Google likes learning about things they don't know about already. It's kind of like sending a kid off to the first day of school. They're really, really excited, but the second day comes around and they don't want to get on that bus anymore. Google's not interested in your site the second time around. Sort of like a slutty ex-girlfriend. Let's see. So would you say Double Agent is the next version of RenaSERP because the rankings will hold? Double Agent is the original version of RenaSERP. I could bring it up here if you guys want to see in the forum. Just do a quick search for RenaSERP licensing agreement, and you'll get the whole down and dirty on what actually happened. But SEMeasy, or not SEMeasy, Double Agent is actually the original RenaSERP, the only still really standing RenaSERP. Any SERP Shaker alternatives? There's tons of them discussed in the forums, guys. I'm not endorsing any officially, so it's you should just search the forums. They're in there. Let's see. Wondering if you could talk about privacy and contact us page requirements for the site, especially if you're putting AdSense on the site. Highly recommend putting in a liability waiver and earnings disclaimer, as well as your basic contact us with webmaster's email address for AdSense sites. Is it required? No, it's not. You're still going to get paid unless Google comes and does a manual review of your website. Even so, I recommend having it. There's plenty of plugins out there which go and add them automatically for you on first WordPress install. We could go over those in another webinar. Just don't have time to vet all of them right now. I'm not going to do it in real time. But there are a few that I know of that we use to automatically add those pages in. So yes, I recommend doing it. Insofar as privacy policy is concerned, yes, absolutely have it. But again, if you don't have it, nothing's going to happen to you unless Google comes in and does a manual review. Let's see. Do you have a good robots.txt example? I don't know what I should be putting in that in general. Great question, and something a lot of you guys don't know is that in an early version of the SEMeasy plugin, there's a bad footprint link, and if you do a Google search, you'll see that the sites that haven't updated it actually are still leaking that SEMeasy footprint. So in order to fix that a long time ago, I went in and added an automated robots.txt editor. The robots.txt, not editor or updater I should say, or modifier really, function will only work if you have changed your permalinks. Don't ask me why. It's a weird thing that WordPress does, and just save your permalink structure. Most of you already have to make them pretty permalinks, not just like post ID number, blah, blah, blah. And if you take a quick look at your robots.txt, you'll see that it was updated automatically. Alright, see, this was all created automatically by the Sem plugin, and it's disallowing anything in the WP content plugins folder, and it's disallowing anything in the WP admin folder as well as the WP includes folder. This is automatically generated for you by Double Agent, or Sem plugin I should say. So you don't really need to worry too much about your robots.txt unless you're adding in more SEO plugins or more things that you don't want Google to know about. But covering this right here, any plugin you add is not going to be indexed by Google. Let's see. When sending links to YouTube videos, must I use HTTP or HTTPS in the URL? Does it make a difference when using HTTP or HTTPS? If you're doing a Majestics or a Ahrefs backlink profile, they're going to show up separately on Google's. And does it make a difference? It's a good question. I would venture to say no, it does not. But I recommend right now sending it to the HTTP, not the secure URL, until probably about 2.5, 3 months from now, when we could really go and judge whether Google was just blowing a bunch of smoke up everybody's ass with the SSL ranking factors or not. But as of right now, I'd say send them straight over to the HTTP, because Google's doing an internal, or YouTube I should say, they're both the same. They're doing an internal redirect to the HTTPS anyway, so the link juice will pass through regardless of the fact. Let's see, a question from Nick. If IA isn't working and we create a small group of like 50 pages to get it to work, is that enough? I asked because we were told not to run IA more than once on the same site. And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. When we run IA on the landlord sites, we don't do all 35,000 posts or 300,000 pages, including tag pages and whatnot. It's just A, impractical, and B, Google really doesn't give a crap about all those pages. It just wants to start learning the site. So what we do is we limit it to about 150 to 2,500, depending on the if it's a state or a national site, and we just have those pages be indexed because we're confident in our interlinking structure. And well, I mean, we're confident in that not because we know it's good, but because Google has told us it's good. We go from having 0 pages indexed to over 250,000 pages indexed in 48 hours. And we do that not by submitting every page on the sitemap. We do that by having a solid interlinking structure. So yes, if you got a relatively small site, then doing index assault or running index assault on just those 50 pages is more than enough. What is that hosting over again? And can you go over to how to use the cloud hosting? The hosting provider I talked about earlier was Limelight Networks. Not Limelight, I'm sorry, Limestone Networks, and they're very, very good. Their prices are extremely reasonable, and I believe they offer, I'm not sure if they have shared, but I know they have VPSs. Cloud hosting, for anybody not familiar with cloud hosting, is basically what's the best way to say it? The resources that are located to you, like say you get a cloud hosting VPS plan with with 2 virtual CPUs. You're not actually getting 2 CPUs, or if when you get assigned 2 gigs or 20 gigs of RAM, whatever the hell they give you, you're not actually getting 2 gigs or a 20 gig RAM card dedicated to yourself. Essentially, you're being placed in a cluster of computers and a cluster of servers, where at any given time, any one of the hundreds of processors or the thousands of gigs of RAM in that system is allocated specifically to you. So let's say I have a super quad-core processor that's powering 4 different 4 different virtual CPUs. I could split that quad core up into 4 different cores and have each one be allocated for a specific VPS account or a cloud shared account, without actually having an individual processor for each account. Let's see. I hope that was a little clear. Again, the name of that hosting provider is Limestone Networks, and I have no affiliate with them. SEMeasy doesn't have any affiliate with them, but it is where we host our sites off of. Money Sem 2014 has a good question. So he says, let's see, what is it? Double agent, when you overload a page, some pages load the page that redirects to the overlay page website. Well, it depends what URL shortener or redirect script you're using. All the Marbles is asking, when will your version of Surfshaker come out that you use? That's a very good question. It's in active production now. I'm almost done with the front-end user interface. The back end is going to take a little bit longer, but we're hoping for a launch sometime in early to mid-September. But that might be pushed back to October, depending on how the Landlord project rolls itself out. With that said, Landlord is almost ready for an alpha test of the new platform, like we've been saying for a while. We're just finishing up the code refactoring on that end. Should get it back. That one I had to bus off to my overseas programmer just because I'm working on so many other things right now. So I'm just waiting back on the final code edits from him. Then I have to go over them, make sure all the unit tests work and it integrates with the system properly. And once that's good, we're going to go and be doing a discounted alpha test. I think we're going to limit, Andrew and I were discussing limiting it to somewhere between 20 and 40. I think we're going to shoot around 25 to 30 actually people in that new alpha test. We're going to limit that off as well as issue a discount for just in case any bugs do creep up while we're testing the software. After that, let me pull up the launch schedule so you guys could sort of see what we're looking up. I'm pulling it up on my end here, and over here put it back to the webinar that you guys were seeing before. Okay, so looking forward, we have the Source Landlord alpha launch coming up really, really soon. We need to get those beta testers, so if you're interested in being a beta tester for that, send out a support ticket into help.semeasy.com, and we will make sure that you're added onto the list. We do have a list of people running, and it is going to be by invitation only. We're not doing any launch webinars for that crap. It's going to be a private beta. So if you're interested, send out a support ticket. If you're not interested, then just keep on keeping on. So that's first on the schedule as an alpha. The second thing on our schedule is we are boosting up the new user funnel on SEMeasy. That'll be done next week in conjunction with all these updates coming out. And the reason we're doing that is we're going to be aiming for some sort of JVZoo integration the following week. Yeah, the schedule is not showing on your guys' end because it's got a bunch of private notes on my end, and it's also mixed with my personal work schedule as well as my my other work schedules on there as well, so it's got phone numbers of my SEO clients and whatnot, and can't really show you guys that. So wouldn't want you poaching my clients or bothering them. Let's see, moving forward, JVZoo integration coming the following week, so that will be most likely a JVZoo pick of the week or pick of the day, followed by a JVZoo launch of SEMeasy sometime coming up in mid-September to early November. Yep, so mid-September, early November. Moving forward from that, we have the official launch. Well, not official. It's going to be a beta launch, more of an open beta launch of Landlord to the existing SEMeasy members. And then after that, we got a JVZoo launch for Landlord as well. Then finally, after that, all that down the pipeline, we have the beta launch of the we have the beta launch of the Source Landlord generation script, our own Surfshaker, so to say. That'll be a private beta, so don't send in requests for that one now because we're just not at the time for that, but that one will come out, will be a private beta. We'll grant you guys, some special access and discounts and whatnot. Once that beta is successful and we've squashed all the bugs, we're going to be doing a public release to SEMeasy members only, and then afterwards we'll be doing a JVZoo integration as always. So any thoughts on how much these programs would cost? Yeah, I mean, Landlord pricing is pretty stable. We're going to decrease the price a little bit during the alpha and the beta, but it'll probably remain at the $200 and $500 levels. done a bunch of updates to the site generation scripts itself. There's a lot more on-page SEO that gets added between images and video and schema markup and local places markup. There's been a ton of stuff added to it, as well as the rebuild of the entire keyword submission / credential delivery system. So the prices on that are most likely going to be the same, except for those discounts during the alpha and the beta periods. Insofar as our own SERP Shaker type plugin program thing is concerned, we're considering a model right now, first month $100, continuing on throughout that to $250 or $299 monthly fee. But with that fee, you'd be able to generate a handful of sites every month. So it's essentially a software as a service model where you go in really simply. You could either use our automated generation tools, or you could put in your own Spintax articles and whatnot, and then click a button and have the site built for you in about, right now it takes about an hour and a half, but I'm working as hard as possible to decrease that time. Hopefully I'll be able to have these sites generated for you guys within like 15-20 minutes. And we're thinking right now it'll probably be around 30 sites a month for about $250, so that's less than $10 a site. And that's yeah, wow, yeah. 15 minutes for these site generations is probably a lot faster than what you guys are currently experiencing. I mean, I saw some people posting when they were using the SERP Shaker thing that they'd let it run all night or 12 hours or something to finally finish, and I'd be shooting myself in the head if I had to wait that long. I mean, waiting an hour and a half for a landlord site to come out of our back end is painful enough. So hopefully, and it's also going to depend on what type of servers you're hosting this on, guys. You know, it really depends what type of server you're using. Of course, our servers build out the sites, but you need to have your own hosting to display the sites and host the sites. And we're also probably going to be adding in, you could jump on our reseller account if you want, and you know, that'll be a value upsell for SEMeasy and whatever, and we'll probably give away coupon codes to SEMeasy members to get discounted hosting on our own boxes. So, you know, that's what the schedule looks like. It's a lot of code, it's a lot of stuff to do, but going over it real quickly, we got the alpha release of the new landlord program, and then we got the JV Zoo pick of the day, pick of the week for SEMeasy, and then finally the JV Zoo affiliate push for SEMeasy. Then we got the beta release of the landlord program, or beta re-release, I should say, of the landlord program, followed by a public release of the landlord program to SEMeasy members, and then a JV Zoo release of the landlord program, and then after that we have the landlord site builder for you guys. So it's a packed schedule, guys. There's a lot going on here. I mean, interspersed between all that, we have our bi-weekly QA sessions and our training webinars. What are the dates planned for all of these releases? That's a great question. I know we have hard dates set for a few of them. This Friday is the update for Double Agent. Monday is the update for Index Assault. Let me go to my calendar here for the other dates. Let me pull it right back up. Where is it? There's calendar. Google really couldn't make it easier, but I'm having trouble. Okay, we're looking at the alpha launch for the private alpha launch for Landlord would probably be this upcoming 4th, and with the daily pick happening on the week of the 3rd, or the 3rd, the day before that. Then the JV Zoo integration gets worked on between the 5th and, let me go to the next month here. That goes on between the 5th and the 7th, and then we have a launch sometime around September 8th for the JV Zoo integration itself. Or not September 8th, my bad. We start the affiliate push around the 8th and then launch that around the 17th to 22nd sometime. So that's what it looks like. Let me pull this back over here, and yeah, essentially that's what the schedule looks like right now. Let's see if there's any more questions. What's the best interlinking at the bottom of, it looks like 2012. They do a post before and a post after. Is that enough? Is it enough? Yeah, it is enough if you got a small site. If you have a larger site, we recommend using the There's a random page post widget plugin that you could get straight from WordPress.org. Their plugin, whatever they call it, their plugin archive, or their repo, their plugin repo. You could go and download that plugin from them, and you don't even need to do any modification to the code. It's really simple. You just drag it into the widget area and set how many pages you would like it to display, and it'll display recent pages. Let's see what else. Asking for beta tests of landlords. Can you PM me when it's open? We'll send out an email to the premium members only, saying that we're now accepting requests to join the alpha release. But like I said, if you put in your tickets now, we'll add you to the top of the queue. We already have a handful of people in queue, and we do want to limit it to 25 to 40, somewhere around there. I'd probably be 25 to 30 people in the official in the private alpha release, I should say. And the reasoning for that is simple. A, we're extremely busy, and B, it's an alpha. We don't need 500 people testing code, and if it's broken, then 500 people complaining. We need beta testers, or alpha testers, really. And what plugin was that? That wasn't a plugin. That was for the relaunch of Source Landlord, or SERP Landlord. Blech. Yep, alpha testing for SERP Landlord, for those of you that were late. Wow. Yeah, looks like, yeah, it does look like a lot, people. There is a lot going on. If there's any other questions, I'm happy to take them. It looks like I managed to nail everything. Awesome info. Oh, rub your shoulders. Yeah, I could use a massage, man. It's been a stressful week, to say the least. Do we need to have the directory page on our menu? Absolutely not. Feel free to remove it. Love you long time. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate it. Alrighty, so it was a record today. It's 3:05, and we've been in this webinar for an hour now. We actually started on time. The recording happened a little late, but that's all good. So thanks for showing up, everybody. Greatly appreciate it. Glad the GoToWebinar integration is finally working soundly, and that's pretty much it. If there's any more questions, I'll be happy to take them. If not, I am going to go and have a drink. So I will see you all later. Keep being awesome, and keep doing SEO. Peace.